ATP breaks silence after Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner struggle in brutal Shanghai Masters conditions. The Shanghai Masters has already reached the round of 16, yet the tournament has been rocked by an alarming wave of withdrawals. Stars like Carlos Alcaraz, Jack Draper, and Stefanos Tsitsipas pulled out before play even began, while 8 of the top 20 seeds, including world number 2 Jannik Sinner, last year's champion, have retired mid-tournament. Even Novak Djokovic has struggled, vomiting twice during matches, while Sinner's severe cramps underscore the punishing heat and humidity. And now, after a wave of retirements at the Shanghai Masters, the ATP has addressed the punishing conditions challenging the world's top athletes on the Asian swing. The ATP recently addressed the punishing conditions on the Asian swing in a statement shared via email to Reuters. In parallel, the ATP Medical Services team implements several measures in cases of extreme heat to help protect player health during competition. The governing body, however, made it clear that it is open to further reforms. This remains under active review, and additional measures, including the implementation of an official heat policy, are currently being evaluated in consultation with players, tournaments, and medical experts, the statement added. Player safety remains a top priority for the ATP. The call for a formal ATP heat policy has been growing louder since August, when Arthur Rinderknech collapsed during a match in Cincinnati under sweltering conditions, granting Felix Auger-Aliassime the victory. Currently, ATP regulations leave decisions on suspending play due to adverse weather, including extreme heat, to an on-site ATP supervisor who coordinates with medical teams and local authorities. While effective in theory, the system has been exposed under the grueling conditions of the Asian swing. Holger Rune, during a medical timeout, asked the umpire, "You want a player to die on the court?" highlighting the urgency. Other players who retired due to illness or injury included Casper Ruud, Tomas Makak, David Goffin, Terence Itmain, Hamad Medjedovic, and Wu Yibing, emphasizing the scale of the issue. Shanghai may have average highs around 33 degrees Celsius, but it is the humidity that punishes the athletes most. For September and October, humidity often reaches 75 to 80%, making every breath feel thick and sticky, like inhaling syrup while trying to move explosively on court. Novak Djokovic captured the severity of the conditions, stating, "It's the same for every player out on the court, but it's brutal. It's brutal when you have over 80% humidity day after day, particularly for the guys when they're playing during the day with heat. With sun, it's even more brutal." While the ATP has recognized the issue and begun reviewing potential reforms, there is growing pressure on the WTA to intervene as well. Female athletes face the same punishing conditions, making life on court increasingly miserable. The Asian swing has not only tested the limits of physical endurance, but also exposed gaps in governance that demand urgent action. With player safety hanging in the balance, both tours now face the challenge of implementing structured, enforceable policies to protect athletes from nature's relentless toll. IGA Swiatek addresses brutal schedule, forcing player retirements. During the China Open, when IGA Swiatek advanced into the R16 in Beijing, her victory came under a cloud. Her second-round opponent, Camila Osorio, retired abruptly after a medical timeout, sidelined by an injury. Swiatek didn't hide her sympathy for the Colombian. "For sure, I'm sorry for Camila, because she's always giving her 100%, the poll said, noting that Osorio had flagged her injury from the very start. When asked about the mounting fatigue affecting players like Carlos Alcaraz late in the season, Swiatek offered a candid perspective. "Obviously, the season is long. The second part of it, I think people are more fatigued. The Asian swing is the hardest because you feel the finish line coming, but you still have to push." The Wuhan Open, meanwhile, delivered its own wave of medical chaos. Bianca Andreescu required a timeout before serving at 5-6 against Anastasia Zakharova, who herself had already received treatment earlier in the match. Katerina Siniakova halted play at 0-3 down in the second set against Yafan Wang. These incidents are far from isolated. They form a worrying pattern. The suffocating heat, relentless travel, and grueling schedule are pushing athletes to their limits, forcing them to battle not just opponents, but their own bodies. With scheduling conflicts compounding extreme weather conditions, The Asian swing has become a test of endurance more than skill. The ATP has already raised its hand for reforms, and the WTA will soon have to follow. It is time for the governing bodies to act decisively, protecting the players who sustain the beauty and drama of the sport. The future of tennis demands it, as the game cannot thrive if its athletes are left gasping under the weight of its calendar.